Alright, welcome to Bluescreen Bronies, a live episode. Yes, live, because later in the episode we will have Danielle McRae, voice of Painwheel, Hagara the Stormbinder, and many, many more things, including my favorite thing in the world, Drow Tales from the early 2000s. I'm Draco.
I'm D-Pad.
And I'm Viral.
And Crescendo can't be here today because she caught the internet con crud because LPU was that distasteful.
Just a little bit.
Alright guys, we're going to start off things with a little bit of news here. Main 6. The amazing people behind Fighting is Magic. They've teamed up with Lauren Faust, and you know what? A new game, same mechanics. It should be the same thing for us, ponies or not. I mean, a fighting game's a fighting game.
Yeah, they're just changing it up so it's not, interfering with intellectual property. They're putting a whole new original concept characters and everything in it, but they're taking all the movesets and stylized and throwing that back over. So, let's hope it actually comes out in a reasonable time frame, but no rush.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fighting game, it's main 6, it could be worse, it could just be done. They just could have gave up. But they're going forward. They've got Lauren Faust behind them. This could be nothing but awesome at this point in time.
Yeah, this could be really good. Whole fresh start, great mind behind some of the conceptual work, not to mention a really solid mechanics that have been around for a considerable amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good game. It's great. I'm sorry for people that can't play it or whatnot, but on to the next thing. This is how much you need to spend to make a good fighting game character. And Squiggly costs a lot.
Yeah, something like $90-some-odd thousand.
Boy, it's... Just look at animation contracting. 30 grand.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. And the fees, just labeled under fees, are 10.5, and then staff total's about 48. So it's just kind of ridiculous.
Now, if this was EA, it would need another section of this pie chart that says beer party.
Not to mention stupid ideas for DLC on day one.
Yeah, now they raised a lot more money than just this, and they've released up to, I think it was last bit, either 11 or 13 characters now.
I thought it was like 14. Check the website,
so many characters.
Yeah, they look really cool though. They have a whole gallery up.
Yeah, it's great. They look awesome, and there's a few that kind of look weird. Like it's just, I don't know. It's a good game. It's fighting game. It's at Evo quite regularly now. It's appearing at more fighting game tournaments. It's combo heavy, it's fast paced a little bit, and I hate Peacock.
Everybody hates Peacock. Although one of the characters I'm looking forward to is Brain Drain. The big, pretty much the big boss behind, I think it's the Anti-Skullgirls project. Don't quote me on that, but I haven't played the game that much. I keep getting my butt handed to me on normal difficulty.
Brain Drain is the one that, with Valentine, created Painwheel.
Yep.
Alright, on to the next thing. 1UP is officially done.
It's a sad day. I mean, I loved reading 1UP. My boring days at the office would be filled with plenty of well-written articles from 1UP and Netflix queues, but I think I enjoyed the 1UP articles a little bit more.
Now, 1UP isn't the only thing that's going. GameSpy Arcade is also going.
Yeah. Although GameSpy was kind of... It was crawling along. It was kind of on its last leg a little bit.
Yeah, I think the only thing that was keeping it afloat was the fact that Borderlands 1 used all of its multiplayer through it.
Yeah, then Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is actually still pretty active, uses GameSpy.
I wonder how they're going to fix that to where you don't need GameSpy after those services are gone.
I have no idea. Just leave it to the third-party mods. We'll let that sort it out. Anyway, So here's a fun little thing. Fire Emblem added... never mind. Hold on.
No. We're doing Kingdom Hearts next. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, Kingdom Hearts, the HD remix, is coming to the PS3 in English.
Yeah, it's one thing to have like a new Kingdom Hearts. It's another thing to have a revamped Kingdom Hearts. I mean, I don't understand that. Like, HD remix, okay, that's great. Final Fantasy X's getting HD remix. Who cares? I'm sorry, but I don't like these HD releases.
I don't know. Kingdom Hearts was a heck of a game. I mean, I'd like to see it in HD, just because, you know, you could throw it up on your PS3 and not have to worry about the whole backwards compatibility issues.
Yeah, that's definitely, I don't know, it's a plus.
I'd say it's a plus. Also, you know, there's the bug fixes, you know, some of the weird little glitches they take out, just some of the little things that are always off with the characters, if I remember correctly. You know, just you know, tweaks, like, you know, patchwork before you really had games that were always connected to the internet, because this is from, like, PS2 era.
Yeah. Okay. Now you can talk about Fire Emblem.
Okay, Fire Emblem, game very close to my heart as of recently. The new one, Awakening, added the Bride class. Now...
I don't get it. Japan has a weird class system. It's princesses, princes, jesters. I don't get it.
It's just kind of kooky, but, you know, kind of adds the charm of the game. You know, the dialogue has its moments. It's nice to have I guess something that you can turn into, you know, a class based around your choices that's equally as kooky as some of the dialogue in the game.
My question is, what type of weapon does she have? A freeze-dried bouquet of roses?
Guess it could be one giant rose that's used like a lance.
So, no rose whip like a Yu Yu Hakusho episode or nothing like that, you know?
I don't know, there's no whips in the game, so... It'd be fun, though.
Definitely. Alright, and since people were asking about pony games in the chat, how about we go with the RPG and the Civil War?
Oh yeah, those two looked pretty neat.
I'm not too happy about Civil War, just because it looks like a very, very, very bad ripoff of like League of Legends or Heroes of New Earth.
I mean, it's in its early stages at this point. I mean, it's got potential. I'd definitely try it out, although I am a little bit more excited for Pony RPG.
Yeah, it looks interesting. The ponies definitely clash with the background. It doesn't... I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a... It's trying to look like Final Fantasy in a way, and it just doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. I don't know, I think that, you know, what is it? Pony, the other one has a really nice MOBA feel, with a kind of a bit of an equestrian charm, but on that one's, like I said, early stage of the game. I'm excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's definitely early stages. It can be tweaked. The only problems I really have with the Civil War game is the fact that it's clunky, and the animations are really slow. You can't tell if you're getting hit until after you get hit.
Well, I mean, it's like we said, it's early stage. You got to give it a chance. I mean, what we're really looking at here is for conceptual purposes.
Yeah. Conceptual purposes, it looks fine starting out. You just got to fix those little quirks, because it can't be a PvP game if you can't predict moves to avoid damage.
Yeah, that's why you have the alpha and the beta.
Right. All right, I'm going to stop the music here for a second, because we're going to go into a nice little video. This is my nostalgia. Pokemon Johto Journeys with Pony crossover. Actually, pretty good.
I actually remember watching this show when I was a kid. You know, come home, I think it was Saturday mornings that I watched this. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great show. Watched it when I came home from school, when it was on in the afternoons. This was like one of the catchiest openings in the 90s. I'm sorry, I guess you could say like early 2000s, late 90s. Because 90s had a lot to compete with.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Johto Journeys was just one of those games that it was amazing. And when Gold and Silver came out, just sold it for me.
I mean, heck, they came out with, Heart Gold and Soul Silver on the DS, so clearly it had to be a good game.
I just the nostalgia buildup. I can't take it anymore.
I know that I'd hear this song like in a commercial on Fox or something, and then I'd be humming it the rest of the day.
All right, something that came out recently, Crisis 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's chugging.
Chugga, whoop whoop.
It's chugging. 37 FPS in wind and rain. CryEngine 3 needs a lot of work.
Yep. Let's hope with some of the patchwork we can get some more of the little engine that could back into it, and less of 40-car freight train trying to go uphill.
Yeah, it's not bad. And Crysis games aren't generally horrible, so I mean, it just needs a little bit of tweaks. Maybe some newer hardware can deal with that, but the new hardware is still really expensive. The Titan is $1,000.
Yeah. Also, what I really wish they'd stop doing is Crysis games have really started to get more generic as time goes on. The more EA is kind of glomped onto Crytek and kind of taken the, artistic vision out of it a little bit and turned it back more into a moneymaker.
Yeah, it's definitely a moneymaker for Crytek at this point.
Yeah, not to mention the multiplayer just feels like hyped up Call of Duty, not in the good way.
Yeah, I just want to point something out in the chat here. Your favorite generation isn't the best generation. It doesn't matter what you think the best generation is, because that's all opinion based. Because, like, for me, I like Absol, so the third and fourth generation to me are the best.
I remember in my day there were only 150 Pokemon. Now you're like at what? Couple thousand? How do you keep track? There's no Pokemon rap anymore.
Pokemon rap might take an hour.
Yeah, if they can string enough names to rhyme together.
All right, guys, it's that time. I want to go ahead and introduce our guest, the wonderful, lovely Miss Danielle McRae.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Say hi, chat. She said hi. Don't make her feel lonely.
Hi everybody. So Ronry.
Yeah, this is the voice of Painwheel from Skullgirls, Hagara the Stormbinder, the raid boss in Cataclysm of World of Warcraft. She also played in Drow Tales. I don't know if you've seen the old movie of, was it Metal Gear Solid Philanthropy? Yeah, Philanthropy. It is... That was a fan movie that really didn't expect to be good, but it turned out to be pretty good. For what it was doing back in 2007, it was uploaded to YouTube finally. So, I mean, it's you can't compare it to nowadays, because nowadays it got so much better. It's just not good. But Danielle, I want to ask you a couple questions here. First, about Bronies. What is your initial reaction when you went to Camelot Gardens and you're surrounded by all these people that like a show that was initially targeted for little girls?
I personally loved it. I had a lot of fun with the Bronies. I actually just went around and talked to, like, from Brony to Brony to Brony, because they're all so fun and cool people. I didn't really expect them to be that awesome. So if there's another BronyCon, I would totally go. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a ton of Brony conventions around, almost too many, really, to be honest with you. They've got one coming up here in Washington, D.C., Cloud Hill Congress. They've got a few coming up. Let's see here. The next big one is Equestria LA, which will be, I don't think it'll be at the Anaheim Convention Center this year. I'm not too sure on that.
Yeah, I actually heard of that one.
Even with so many conventions, I still can't make any of them.
It's a lot of conventions.
A lot.
Yeah, and they're all in the wrong spots at the wrong times.
Yeah.
Now, being at Camelot Gardens, you were able to interact with a whole bunch of Bronies and see the whole Brony fandom. You also got to see some of the Brony games. What was even though you didn't play Fighting as Magic, what was your initial reaction to seeing a fighting game that had ponies in it?
I thought it was very interesting, very, very pretty. And I really wanted to play the game. I couldn't. I didn't want to like step in and say, "Hey guys, I want to play the game." I just stood there and just watched the whole thing. And I liked the graphics. I liked everything. The thing was really cool. I just wish I could have played it.
Yep. Getting a little bit of kind of mic jitter, I guess you can say it is. Just from internet connection. I'm trying to solve that real quick here.
Okay.
So, 1 second, chat. That'll be fixed. But, yeah, I mean, it's a fighting game, and like I was telling Main 6, whether it had Care Bears or puppies in it, it's a fighting game. And if it's a
Yeah.
good fighting game, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess if you really wanted to play the game, you could have just broken out the Painwheel voice and told them to part like the Red Sea.
I should have. Hopefully, yeah, I should have. Need a time machine now to go back in time and do that. It would have worked.
It would have worked. I mean, I was sitting there on Sunday, and I just decided to, I was bored and just, Twiley! And everybody whipped their heads around and thought Andrew Francis walked in the door. It was like my favorite story from Carolina Gardens.
Yeah, you have mentioned that one a couple of times.
Yeah, I love telling that one. All right, now you've done a lot of things, like radio dramas. You've done some fan movies and some animations. You've done a lot of video games, including Planet Side 2. Now, what's your favorite medium to voiceover for? Is it the movies, the radio dramas, or the games?
I really love the games. I love the games because it's so fun just to play a different character from a different genre, like either a fighting game or a shooter game or an MOBA game. I mean, I like it all. I mean, I grew up with video games, so I would easily pick that over anything else.
Yeah, it's a pretty good choice. I mean, a lot of people like video games. I mean, it's not like the 1980s or early 90s where video games were looked down upon. Now it's the thing.
Yeah.
Now,
It's really cool if you like play the games too, because I know a lot of voice actors don't really play the games they're in. But I usually play like almost every game except for World of Warcraft. I couldn't play that.
that takes a commitment.
Yeah, it does.
I would have to marry the game to play.
Almost. It's like marrying a game. I spent enough money that I could have, I don't know, got a couple of divorces.
That'd have been a pretty fun honeymoon with all the money you spent.
Oh yeah.
So is it ever awkward when you encounter yourself in game as, an NPC or an enemy or whatever?
At first, it was really awkward because my first game was League of Legends, so it was really awkward just to hear my voice come out of a character. Hi, Kat. I think she agrees with me, but but I think you never really get used to that. It's just like you record a game or a show, and then you hear yourself, and it's just really surreal. It's like, I didn't do that, did I? I don't know. It's just something I can't really get over.
So the whole kind of like, oh, I should have done this, or oh, I should have done that, kind of second thoughts going through, or like what?
Well, I wouldn't really say second thoughts. I would say something like, it's almost like it was a dream for me to do something like this, but I really don't really second guess myself. I would just be like, that's not me, is it? So sometimes I would be in disbelief. I'm like, I didn't do that voice, did I? And I did, but it's really weird.
They're
So how many
enjoying
times have
your...
you been slain by the character you voiced in LOL? Do you keep count?
Many times. I lost track. Many times.
Yeah, a lot of people don't play Karma because it's a different support because it does a lot of damage.
I hear she's really good as an AP, but I am so bad at playing with her. So she's kind of a weird character in the game.
She is. I mean, I was playing her 2 days ago just because I haven't played Karma in a while. And I got yelled at for KSing because I put a shield on somebody and I forgot I ulted. Now, what is your favorite game genre?
I love shooter games. I really love shooter games, and I love fighters. But if I had to choose just one, it might have to be... that's hard, actually. If there was like a fighter shooter, I would choose that. We could just merge the best of both worlds together.
So a game like House of the Dead, back on the old Dreamcast and Sega Saturn, that would be something you would like?
Yeah, definitely.
I think I remember playing House of the Dead arcade cabinet at the bowling alley.
I've wasted a lot of money on stuff like that in Area 51.
Oh, I
that
played
was a
that
fun
game.
one.
I played that game with my brother. We would go to the arcade every day and just play that game and other games. Or Primal Rage.
Primal
a fun one.
Rage. Wow. So who used the T-Rex and completely cheat moded?
Did I cheat mode? Wait, what was that? Sorry.
Which one of you played the T-Rex and cheat moded it? Just basically crouch and low punch.
I did not cheat mode the T-Rex. It's not too late now.
No, it's not too late.
I now know what I must do.
Yes, this is my mission now.
It's
I
like
have to do it.
spamming Hadouken with Ryu.
Yeah, you can also do that with, you can also do the whole crouch punch thing with Ryu. That's why I won.
I did that. The crouch punch or the little roundhouse kick thing.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Little...
I mean, a favorite genre is shooter or fighter. I mean, they're both interesting game genres. Now, what would you say your favorite game to play so far is?
I have a lot of favorites that I do like to play, but as of right now, I do like because I'm playing it right now. It's Metal Gear Rising.
Oh, Rising's a fun game.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I'm actually going through it a second time, just because I think it has a really good replay value to it. I'm trying to get the platinum.
To be honest with you, I don't like how short it is, but I like what they did with it.
Yeah, I hate how short it is. I really do. But it's like, I gotta play it again.
Yeah, I mean,
take my time with it.
Did you notice that it feels a lot like Bayonetta, especially since Platinum Games picked it up. It feels a lot like Bayonetta.
It really does. It really does. Like, make it a little bit longer, like maybe 5 more hours.
Yeah, I mean, like the major complaint from the gaming industry, especially Kotaku and IGN, was that if you just played through it, straight through it, it was only 4 hours long.
Yeah. Yeah, I played all the old Metal Gear Solid games, so I was hoping it would be as long as the first one at least, or the second one. But I was like, that's it? Really? And that, I'm not going to really say anything about the last boss, but that boss. That's all.
Yeah.
Nano Machine, son.
That boss.
Yes.
So when you're using the sword, do you like using the stick for more control, or do you prefer just going with horizontal and vertical for the buttons?
I usually use the stick when it comes to the slow-mo. They call it the slow-mo sword technique.
Yeah.
I love using the stick a lot.
Just making mincemeat?
Yeah. It's so much fun.
It is.
It should have been longer.
It really should have. They're adding new missions, but I think they're taking out the sword and expecting you to get along with your fists. I'm just like, but the whole reason I bought this was for ninja action.
Exactly, yeah.
Even says it on the box.
Cyborg ninja action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, now you voiced Hagara, the Stormbinder. For those that don't know, is a raid boss in Cataclysm. If I remember right, it's the 3rd or 4th raid boss. Been a while. Been a long while. Been about 6-7 months.
She's somewhere in there.
Yeah, she's in the first half of the raid. Now, what was your reaction when Blizzard said that you got the role?
It was really weird because I auditioned for it. A friend of mine gave me an audition and said, hey, we're actually looking for like orc ogre voices, like female voices, and some male voices for different characters. And I thought it was just like an NPC role. I didn't think it was anything like a boss. So I just auditioned for it, and I didn't think I was going to get it. And then about a week later, I get a call saying I got the role. And I go into the studio, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm probably just going to have like 3 or 4 lines. That's all I'm going to have. And they're like, nope, you're a boss. So I was really shocked about that. Very surprising.
D-Pad, go ahead and ask one of the questions from chat.
Alrighty then. Arius asks, if you had the opportunity to voice act for My Little Pony, which character would you like to create? Or what kind of character, rather?
If I had, I'd actually like to voice a character in MLP. If I could create a character, I'd like to create like a tough, like, kick butt chick.
Like a griffin?
That would be possible.
A dragon?
Maybe like a dragon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be
Maybe
interesting.
Yeah, I would totally go with that.
All right. Anything else, D-Pad?
Not as of yet, but keep those questions coming.
Yeah. Questions are good.
All right. Now, since you're not in the MLP fandom group of bronies, I guess you could say, you probably don't have an original character that's been drawn. Would you like one to be drawn?
I would. I really would. I actually had a couple drawn for me before I went to Camelot Gardens. Someone made one for Karma, and then another person made one for Painwheel, and I thought that Painwheel was really cool. But she was kind of cute too, just because, just in pony form.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely awesome to see. So what are your favorite colors since you want to see this drawn?
I love like black and red, or either purple and black. Something with like a little hint of black in it. Or like purple and reds. That'd be cool.
Okay, I have to warn you before people go completely bonkers. The stigma for OCs are black and red alicorns with, the horn and wings and whatnot, with really weird hairstyles and eyes and all the accessories that you can find, hat stacking from TF2 kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And don't try to write your OC into the plot.
Oh gosh.
That's the major stigma with the groups of people. But there's been some really good black and red OCs, just few and far between, because people like to use Pony Creator.
Yep. It's always fun to see, one of the more prevalent artists kind of, take a black and red OC that's so cliche and turn it into something that's really interesting.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool as a Pony Creator out there. I had no idea that existed. It's pretty awesome.
There's one actually on DeviantArt.
Nice.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the person who made it for the life of me right now. But what would be the game, if you could go back to any game at all and voice act for it? What would be the game that you'd want to be in?
This game isn't out yet or anything. I'm not sure if that would count. But it is it's Blaze Blue. But if I had a chance to voice Bullet, I would have totally loved to have gone with that.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
That's a really popular fighting game.
Yeah.
It's gotten more popular since Guilty Gear kind of dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going out there. I like the combination of rock and metal in the fighting games.
Me too. It's a really good combination.
And the whole kind of ambiguous, future plot with all this other crazy stuff going on is always really cool.
Yeah, I like the character clothes too, the character outfits.
Yeah, the character design is great. The HD pixel art, which is really well done. The music's awesome. It's a great game.
Yeah, it's fun too. I'm really bad at that game.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I used to be good. Then I met Hazuma, and then I'm bad again.
Oh no.
I'm about 1,000 times better at Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear than I am at Skullgirls.
Yeah, Skullgirls just chewed me up and spat me back out.
I'm sorry, Peacock and Misfortune it's like someone turned up the difficulty to insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially Misfortune. She's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but if you can take your body apart and attack anyway, I mean, that who could blame you?
Yeah.
Headcanon.
Arius, I know what that OC is. I'm talking about who created the Pony Creator, but that OC is amazing. John can do some wonderful art with some bad OCs.
Oh.
Yeah, what was the name of that OC again?
Princess Sugarlicious Bonishka Shananana Sparkle Doombringer III.
I like that name.
Alrighty, so we have another question from the chat. Assassin Monkey wants to know, what would your OC's pet be?
What would my OC's pet be? It'd be my cat. I think it might be my cat.
Draw her to be where she's nicer than Opal, please, guys.
Yeah, we don't really need a whole bunch of vicious cats. The two that we've seen so far, the one from the Season 3 finale and Opal, have been less than kind.
Yeah. Okay, and there's one thing I noticed is a lot of games have some really bad voice acting in them. Like there's a few Capcom games that they make me cringe when I hear it.
Mm-hmm. No, you're not the only one. I actually, I shouldn't be saying this, but I'll say it anyway. I used to, and I still do, watch really bad like voice acting clips, like on purpose on YouTube, just so that I won't go that route. Like, okay, your motivation, don't sound like that.
Learn what not to do.
Exactly. Don't sound like that. That is bad. No bueno. So I just listen to it, and I just try to avoid that.
Yeah, it's kind of a interesting thing because a lot of these voice actors have been in the business a long time, and people are trying to get into it as much as they can. You have from Metal Gear Solid fame, David Hayter, who is one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. He was one of the guys that I kind of wanted to meet at Comic-Con, but I didn't get to go. So it's one of those things where you got the good voice actors that can do pretty much any role, like Tara Strong, I guess you could say, because she can do a lot of voices.
She's a chameleon. Yeah, she's awesome.
And then there's I hate to say it like this, but there's people like Tim Curry, who pretty much has the same voice in a slightly worse accent.
We still love him anyway, though. He was
Jennifer
Nigel
Hale's
Thornberry.
Yeah. Oh, no, he was?
I think he was.
If he was, that's awesome.
He was in Red Alert 3. He was the Prime Minister for Soviet Union.
Wow.
And he had such a horrible Russian accent and made everybody else sound like they were a national-born Russian.
Yeah, Jennifer Hale is another good one I see in the chat. What's so funny about Jennifer Hale is that she actually inspired me to get into voice acting. So when I first heard her in the first Metal Gear, I'm like, her voice is so cool. I want to do voice acting now. She kind of just got me into that. She's a really nice person, too. I actually met her at Candlelight Gardens. She's a really cool person.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. I mean, a lot of people go ballistic that she's female Shepard, and they don't really pay attention to Metal Gear.
Yeah. She's done so many things, too. And oh my gosh.
Well, she's kind of riding the femtrep train to success, though. Femship train.
That's true.
I mean, hey, you do it good, you get noticed, and boom.
Well, considering Male Shepherd is kind of cardboard with his voice acting.
Now, there's a lot of video games going to movies, or movies portraying video games. Like Wreck-It Ralph, for instance, which chat's going to kill me, but I still haven't seen.
You should see it. I think it's coming out for DVD and Blu-ray on Tuesday.
It is.
Yep, it is.
Now, for games like that, or not even games, for movies like that either portray games or are adapted from games, they can either be really good, like Wreck-It Ralph, or even, I guess you could say, the new Tron movie was pretty good. Or they can be really bad, like Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Koopa or I think it was Koopa, human Koopa.
If there was one video game adapted or video game inspired movie that you could voice in, what would it be?
I don't know. I've always wanted to do like Metroid. That'd be cool. Metroid or there's so many games out there.
Ooh, Metroid. That would be a good game movie.
Yeah. There's a lot of
providing,
games.
Team Ninja did it all wrong.
No, Mother M.
Or I'm gonna go to the original Devil May Cry because I really loved. I only played the demo of the new Devil May Cry. It just didn't rub me the right way. So I like the first Devil May Cry to the fourth one. So if they made a movie based off of one of those games, of 1 through 4, I would like to even do something like that.
Yeah, Crazy Dante is much more fun to make a movie out of.
Yeah.
Original Dante is just so casual and so BA, it's not even funny. The new one is just like a whole bunch of built-up teenage angst.
Yeah.
Angst and emo.
Oh, BioShock's another good one, yeah.
Yeah, BioShock would make a great movie. I don't like the game so much because it already feels like a movie.
Yeah, it's like you're watching a movie, but you have a controller in your hand. That'd be a good movie.
That would be cool. So we got another question from the chat. Bladed Hearts asks, what console do you prefer to play on?
PS3. Because I've been a Sony girl for all my life, pretty much. So, I mean, I play Xbox with my friends on occasion, but I think PS3 and Sony PlayStation stuff. I'm kind of like a slave to it. So I'll just automatically choose PlayStation.
So what's your favorite PlayStation game?
I like a lot. I'm actually looking at my shelf right now, but if I had to choose just one, it might have to be the Silent Hill series. I love Silent Hill.
Those are fun.
Those nurses.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I used to play the game like with the lights off just to see how my mind would react to it, and I couldn't play the game. I had to turn the lights on.
I did that
Pyramid
once.
Head.
I had nightmares for a week.
Yeah, that was me
Yeah.
in Pyramid Head. I'm like, I can't even sleep.
The bunnies, the nurses, the pyramid head, the walls, everything.
Yes.
Pyramid Head didn't get me as bad as the nurses combined. I think they're. I can't remember because it's been forever since I played Silent Hill 2. There was a scene where the nurses and the walls were moving.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I know that.
Those
I know
walls
that.
were so creepy. Or like the moving floor thingies with the legs.
No. Oh god. No, bad memories.
Oh, memories.
Now, before console war erupts in the chat, when you were growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, consoles are freaking expensive.
Yeah.
Yep.
You could afford maybe like one a year.
For me, it was like one every 2 or 3 years, if I was that lucky. Like for the PS2, I had to wait like 3 years to get it, so I wanted to wait for the price to go down.
Yeah.
So it was so expensive. And then you got the PS4 coming out, and it's like, oh my gosh, how much is that going to be?
We didn't, like my family, we didn't get an N64 until much later. By the time we got it, GameCube was right down the road.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's like, it's almost like, yeah, you like that? We have this coming up. You should buy this too. It's like, come on, guys, why? I just got this console.
If it wouldn't have been for GameStop, I probably wouldn't have half the stuff I have.
Yeah.
Used game stores are just amazing.
They truly are.
One story that I actually like, and I love telling, is even though it has my ex-fiance in it, is we went to GameStop and we were looking for just old games in a bargain bin. She gasps while I'm looking at the N64 bargain bin. She's looking at the PlayStation bargain bin. And she's holding something up. I'm like, what are you holding up? I peer over her shoulder. It's Lunar 2 marked down to $10.
Wow.
Lunar
That's crazy
2,
stuff.
the Blue Star story, marked down to $10.
I know, it's like, how did that happen?
This was back in 2000s when it was still hard to get. It was so great, and people just completely rail against places like GameStop and stuff like that. You gotta look at it like this. If you go to a pawn shop and sell somebody some gold, I guess, you're gonna have to do it the where they make a profit, so you're gonna be taking like a third of the cut of what it's worth.
Yep.
A lot of people are like,
Yep.
oh, $8. Well, $8, it depends. I can get up to $37 on a brand new game. So, now you've been voice acting for video games, all that kind of stuff. Have you ever really wanted to do more? Maybe like do script writing for video games?
I actually, before I got into voice acting, I used to write just for fun. I would write just random stories and make little fun novels out of them, and then I would try to make characters based on or draw characters based on my stories about them. So I would do that for like the span of 5 to 6 years. I had like 2 stories I was working on. One that was inspired by Silent Hill, and the other one that was inspired by like so many different games. And I had like really bad writer's block, so I had to stop. And then I never really continued those stories. So I just went into voice acting. It was kind of sad because I kind of want to go back to finishing those stories up because they were like 8-9 books long.
Oh, most definitely. If people will notice, I'm playing actually the story mode of Painwheel in the background here. So, yes, there are some mature, I guess, ish themes. So let's not talk about them in chat.
Yeah, it's pretty. She's got a mature story. She just needs love.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're looking through the bio of Painwheel, and all of a sudden you see she does like 300 plus pounds, and it's all that robotic arm in the back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see her like a Bane/Wolverine experiments. I just want to give her a hug.
I'd be
Just
afraid
mind
to.
the spiny bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. The The thing that I absolutely hate about playing Painwheel is the fact that first up is always Peacock. First up.
Oh yeah. Oh, Peacock.
True.
And while I love the 50s art style and the cartoony aspect of Peacock, she just has that overpowered combo with the laser and Gatling laser.
Yeah, she's crazy. I'm so bad with her, but I've seen some people who are just so good you can't even like come close to them and fight them. It's like, how do you guys do that?
It's so hard. It's like playing against a Pyron on Marvel vs. Capcom.
I was thinking more along the lines of what's his name? Robotic Arm. Why am I forgetting this right now? Cable.
Cable, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Cable with his silly little laser that moves up and down. He can pin you right as you drop in for your next hero.
I used to play him a lot in MVC2.
Oh man, I remember
him. Yeah, him and Morgan and sometimes Wolverine or Strider.
Strider was fun.
Yeah.
Now, there's a few games that are just like extremely popular right now, and one of them happens to be, for some odd reason, I think it's because of the infamy, is Aliens Colonial Marines. It's just popular to talk about. I don't think it's popular to play because it sucks.
Yeah, I actually auditioned for that, but I didn't get a part. It's probably for the best I didn't get a part.
As somebody who unfortunately bought the game, I couldn't get through the first level.
Oh no. Is it really hard or is it just...
No, it's bad.
You can walk past the aliens. Show me in a movie where you can do that.
There was a video I saw on YouTube and someone tried to make an alien dance and they were like, hello my baby, hello my honey. It was really funny.
That's the one.
Oh no, you bought the game and regretted it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's an experience. A bad one, but
yeah,
experience nonetheless.
It was sad too because when I actually got the audition sides, they actually gave me the reference of a trailer. I'm like, this looks really cool. And I was actually sad I didn't get a part, but then when I heard a lot of reviews saying it's so bad, don't pick it up, I'm like, never mind.
Yeah, it's the trailer and the demo were made by one company, and the actual game was made by another. And both companies pointed fingers at the other one as to why it went wrong.
Yeah, Sega just don't care. They're just like, nope, someone owes us a game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if anybody's wondering, you're actually watching a mid-lane Karma play in the video stream right now.
Awesome.
Since you were asking about it, it's actually going one-on-one with a Katarina.
Oh, sweet. Wow. That's interesting.
All right, another question from the chat from B. Boston. They ask, have you ever had any horror stories during your voice acting?
I actually have one that I could never get out of my head, but it kind of pushed me to do more and more stuff. It was kind of like an inspirational story, but kind of scary. So this is when I started doing auditions for a studio called Bang Zoom in LA. They do a lot of video games and anime. So I auditioned for Aurelia for League of Legends. It was my very first character I auditioned for. And I was in the studio recording for this audition, and my knees weren't like locked. I didn't bend my knees or anything while recording. So I kind of just stood really straight, kind of like a robot, didn't bend my knees or anything. And after 15 or so minutes, I like passed out. Like my head hit the little script table thing, and then I hit my head, the back of my head went to a window, and I fell down on the ground, and I pretty much fainted. And I woke up, and I'm like, I don't want to go to school. So it was really embarrassing and kind of scary.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's probably I hope that's actually the only horrific story I ever have. Because that was really scary.
If it's the only one, it's probably the worst one you'll probably have.
Yeah.
Well, now you've knocked it out of the way early. You got nothing to worry about.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Now, voice acting is hard to get into, especially for games, because there's just so many people.
Mm-hmm.
What words of advice would you give to people just to get started at?
I actually recommend to a lot of people because I actually went on this site a long time ago and I still visit. It's a place called Voice Acting Alliance. You can actually practice doing different voices and like especially if it's something like for making new characters or even trying to take an existing character and mimicking them. just to make like your stock voice so you can bring it out for original stuff. I think it's really good practice. Voice Acting Alliance, Voice Acting Club, Newgrounds, another good place. And I think if you want to take it even more further, I think theater and plays work pretty well, just to even like establish more of that character and be like, hey, I get to be this one character, and I'm gonna, I don't know, it's good practice. It's really good practice, especially for improv and everything. And because most of the time we go in a booth for video games, it's almost like we have the lines fed to us, but we can't really rehearse it. So I think when it comes to making the character voices or just, I don't know, trying to put yourself in that moment, I think improv and practice with voice acting sites and stuff like that really help.
So they just throw you down on the spot for a lot of your jobs? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I wouldn't really say they really put you on the spot a lot on a lot of jobs, but there are some times where we have to kind of make up a line if it doesn't fit, especially if it's a Japanese game. Like if there's a line that isn't fitting for the Japanese audio, we kind of have to make something up a little bit. But most of the time we have a script to follow, but there's very few times where they'll tell us, you got to make this up, try to make the lines shorter and just think of what you want to put in. But that doesn't happen too much, but it's just good to have something like improv and stuff like that.
All right, question I have for you that I've been kind of sitting on. If you blow your voice out, what is the best remedy besides resting, of course, because that's probably the most basic thing you can do, resting your voice. Is there like a tea or an herbal supplement that works well to help heal the voice?
Yeah, I actually drink green tea a lot. I actually have like a huge box of green tea in my cupboard because this actually happened a couple weeks ago. I had a session for like a yelly game. I had to yell a lot, and I had like 2 or 3 cups of tea, and I felt good after 2 or 3 days. But for pain wheel, I had to have like some sort of throat lozenger thing, like some sort of spray. There's something called Singer's Grace. I mean, it tastes really bad when you spray a few spritz in your mouth, but it works wonders. It actually clears up your throat a little bit. And if you're yelling a lot or if you're attacking or dying and stuff, it really kind of coats your throat so that it doesn't hurt too much when you yell. So I'd recommend tea and maybe like something like Singer's Grace just to ease up your cords.
Keep them well lubricated.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with this, the pain wheel voice? You know, your speaking voice is a lot different. Where did you get the whole idea for this, you know, crazy, real, what did you call it, blood-throaty voice?
Yeah, blood-throaty voice. I actually got inspired by Lisa Trevor from Resident Evil. A lot of the splicers from BioShock, I got inspired by them. And I just had fun with it. Like, they were already asking for someone who can make, like, kind of animal-esque sounds for Pain Wheel, just because her voice is not normal. Her voice is very, like, I don't want to call it creature-like, but they wanted her to sound very violent and very vicious. So I thought, okay, let's take something from the splicers from BioShock and mix that with Bane and Lisa Trevor and see what we get. And I didn't think I was going to get picked. I was just having fun with it. And after a week or so, I got a call saying, you got the voice of Pain Wheel, and I didn't think I was going to get it. So I actually have to thank BioShock for that.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. A lot of people get inspiration from different people to do voices. Mm-hmm. And it's really funny to just sit back and listen to voice actors go back and forth sometimes in their voices.
Yeah.
I gotta ask the evil question. Have you ever used your voices to get what you want?
I used my voice one time, but it didn't really work for me. I actually tried to it's a weird idea. I actually thought it would be a funny idea to order for pizza in a little kid voice, because I played a little kid in a game called Dragon Nest. So I tried to use that voice to get pizza, and they're like, where's your guardian? I'm like, I don't have a guardian. I just need some pizza. Gosh. And she hung up on me. But then I tried it again. I think it was for a QVC thing. I forgot what I said, but I didn't get the item or something. But they're like, okay, we just need your credit card. And they actually took my voice seriously. They thought, okay, this kid's serious. They got some money. All right, we'll just give us your credit card information. I'm like, I don't have a credit card. And it worked just for that half. And then I said, oh, I'll ask my mom for money. Yeah. So the pizza didn't work, though, but the QVC thing kind of worked.
Wow, yeah. That's pretty good. I mean, the reason why I asked is I follow a comedian called Gabriel Iglesias, or Fluffy.
I love him. I love him so much.
I love how he goes through drive-thrus and just messes with people.
Yeah.
Just some of the voices that come out of that man are just unnatural.
I know.
The thing about the cops and the donuts, remember when he gets pulled over with a box of Krispy Kremes?
Yeah.
Do you know why I pulled you over? Because you could smell it!
I actually got out of a speeding ticket because of a box of donuts one time.
Oh, wow.
Well, not me, my father. I don't speed that often.
All right, Danielle. I gotta ask you, since you would like to close this off for us, which voice would you like to close out with?
I'll do a Painwheel voice. I mean, I have a voice now, so it's totally okay. I can do one for right now.
Okay, I don't want you to hurt yourself.
All right. So I'm just closing off. Sorry.
Yeah, you can close off. You can just give us a little shout out for Everfree Network.
All right. You're listening to Everfree Network. Death Crawl.
Perfect. And
awesome.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Danielle McRae, voice of Painwheel, Hagara. Also, what was your character's name in as Sindel in Dragon's Nest?
Seidel and Dragon Nest.
Seidel and Dragon's Nest. Don't forget to buy Skullgirls.
Yeah.
Support Danielle.
It's a good game, too. Trust me.
It's a lot of fun.
All right, guys. See you next week. Have fun.